look at your M&M closely. And it says, talk to your partners and discuss some of the things you observe about the M&M, and then you're going to record your observations on line 1. For 2, it says, break open the M&M and look inside. Describe what you observed in words and make a drawing to show what the inside of the M&M looks like. And on your table, you guys have every color of M&M colored pencil, so you should all have that for your drawing. And then I just want you to focus on whatever you can describe on number 1 about the M&M. And think about it as if you were telling a person who's never seen an M&M before. So all the things you can describe about it. And then number 2 is when you break it open. Are there any questions before I give you an M&M? No? Okay. You can start as soon as you have your M&M, okay? Okay? Yeah. You want us to break it in half right away. It's first step 1.
It's colored on the outside.
Okay.
Different colors. Maybe we could say that they're colored brown chocolate candy. And they have an M on it.
Could say has an M.
If you look closer, you can see it has like
Chocolate.
Oh yeah. And it like the color like it lights. Like see, look, it's like dark. But then if you look at the back like little spots, it's like light.
And it's really like hard. Like the surface is smooth, but it's like.
And the shape isn't like a sphere, it's like a flat.
Kind of like a flat oval.
It's like a fat,
Kind of like
flat cylinder.
flat oval.
Cool.
Yeah.
These are all good descriptions, you guys. In a short time. Do you think they all look white and speckly or whatever? I know
It's hard.
Yeah, it kind of does actually.
Yeah. It's just
Why do you think it's? Yeah, why do you think it's like that?
It's
probably because like the outside of the shell of the M&M
Like saturated with sugar.
And what did you say?
Because I like saturated sugar.
Oh, saturated sugar.
all can't be perfect, right?
That's true. Yeah, all perfect. They're good descriptions. Yeah, I know. Sometimes they have a beautiful clean break, and sometimes they look like that.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, you had the nice. Can you put it back together and have it look almost like it never broke or not?
Okay, I'm not going to try to put it back together.
Does it stay or not? Alright. Why does it stay, do you think?
Because the chocolate's melted and it's melting together.
Okay. Melting in the inside.
They don't know.
Go ahead and draw your
just, like-
pictures for part 2. You guys don't have to wait either.
See?
How are you guys doing? Are you still trying? Yeah, you can go on to number 2. Yeah.
Open up and want to break open
Oh, you did yours.
I don't got fingernails.
You could ask someone.
I have big fingernails.
Yeah, if you did it easily. I think it's easier to do it by hand than like with a pencil.
It's soft
but-
and inside.
Is it?
Thank you.
Were you holding yours so that it's warm too, do you think? Or do you think it's just soft?
I was holding mine a lot, so it kind of melted off.
Okay.
My fingers.
Did he break it in half or no?
Yeah, he broke it. Oops. Kind of in parts.
So try to write as much detail as if you're telling someone who's never
Picture
seen
what
it.
it looks
Yeah,
like.
and then draw the picture. I think it said of what the inside, what it looks like. Good job, guys.
The shell's kind of like
If you look, there's like a little layer.
Oh yeah, there's another. It's like white layer.
This is the green layer outside. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Mine is like so white chocolate on the inside.
What now?
And then like a shell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
How do you get that? It's a beautiful break, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You got that on. So do we have a paper?
What do you guys see?
It's like powdery and it's like the powder shells.
They're sticky and smooth.
So how would you think it's measured into the it's not like pour it in so it's a drizzle or something.
They have the chocolate and then they cover it with the stuff. And then they freeze it. It's hard.
Okay. Freeze it.
I see layers. Like it comes in layers.
Have you seen this before? Or are you just guessing? Oh, cool. You
Yeah,
actually
and
know.
then was it how they have?
And they're all white, the shell.
Okay.
And they put like 1,000 M&Ms or more at a
Okay.
time into this big machine with color.
Okay.
And then they pour all the M&Ms in there, and then it's like
Oh, why does like this?
So they shake around in it, kind of, or
yeah,
what?
like they like spin and get the color.
Well, that's
and stuff.
cool.
And then they let it dry, and then afterwards they go through this like machine, and then they put the
M's.
into the machine. Yeah.
That's how does
That's
this,
neat. I would
So
like
then
to
does
see
the
that.
shell like turn white when it like cooks in the thing?
I don't know. Well, if you saw it, what's that like? Do you
Yeah,
remember?
it does turn white.
Okay, so it didn't start out as a white shell until they cooked it. That's interesting. We were.
I think it was like probably a little lighter than chocolate.
Yeah, like a mocha. Mocha.
Are you talking about before it turned white? What color?
Is it like an ice cream?
Yeah.
So is it like really
Like a
light?
good light brown.
It's like spooky.
Well, that's because you broke the M&M.
It like
Yes. And or kind of
and when you hold it like
yeah, and then it like goes on your
yeah, your hand turns like
It took me 5 times just to try and make it all white because it kept breaking.
Oh, with this one or with the other ones? Okay. So you guys think it melts in your hands, not in your mouth?
Well, if I want to savor mine unless I'm really hungry, so I just suck on them in my mouth, and
So
if I'm
you
hungry,
can-
I just eat them.
So then do you get to see all the layers sometimes if you're doing it like that?
This is the whole one.
I like do a peanut M&M.
I was going to say, have you guys done that?
M&M.
Oh, I like the peanut.
No, because it's plain. It looks plain.
I know. I wish they were bigger though, or like more of them in a pack because there's only like 15.
If you get the yellow pack, so then you get fewer to enjoy. That makes sense. Alright, so are we ready? Should I start talking or do people need more time?
Just stop.
Alright, why don't we see what we have for at least the first part, just like if you're describing the M&M to somebody, what would you say? What would you say, Hannah?
I would say it's blue with a white M on it, and it's like in a circle, and it's hardish.
Okay, so you guys were talking about, or you are, about how it feels, the shape, the color, the white M. What do those things sound like, you guys? And something we talked about before. Yeah, we're describing properties, so very good. There are a few more properties we could talk about, so what else could you say about it?
It said it is orange and has a white M on it. It's smooth, shines in the sunlight, and it's a circle.
Awesome. And how do you know it shines in the sunlight?
Because when I was sitting right here, it was like looked really glimmer.
So even just I was wondering if you compared it to like an experience you've had. So you're just saying in the fluorescent light. Were you the one saying you've eaten them in the sun?
Yeah.
So do they shine in sunlight too? Do you remember?
Yeah.
They do.
Okay, so they'll shine in the sunlight too. What else did you say?
I noticed on the M&Ms that there's like white little dots on them,
Okay.
and I was kind of curious like what they're from, but I don't really know.
Okay, so did anyone else notice the white kind of speckly look there? I've heard a few people say that today. Who has a guess of why it would be like that? What do you think? What do you think, Sarah?
Coloring?
From food coloring? And why would it be maybe speckled? Like why would you see some red, some white, or some green, some white?
Different food colorings.
Okay, so it's different kinds of food coloring perhaps? Okay. What else? What do you think, Kimball?
Well, I kind of noticed like when I
that like when you hold it for a while, it starts to get kind of sticky
Okay. Why is that, do you think?
because the outside's starting to melt.
Okay. So it feels sticky as it melts. I like that. What else?
For in the inside, there's like the inner shell is like white and it has like the food coloring on the outside.
Okay.
And this is what it looks like to me. It looks like the powdery sugar. It's like
Yes. Like powdered sugar?
like the powder. I mean, not sugar. Chocolate. The powdered chocolate.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Like
on the inside.
like cocoa, like for
Yeah,
baking?
cocoa,
Some- Okay, so you're thinking of like baking ingredients you've used before. It does kind of look exactly like that color brown. That would be interesting to see if that's one of the exact ingredients on there too. Which very possibly could be. What else? Alexis.
So the reason why white dots are on there is because during the drying process, because of the dye was on there,
Okay.
the dye starts to like, when it's a liquid, it starts to like go and drop around the M&M.
Okay.
So
So that's why they can't make a perfect solid color because
Yes.
it kind of spreads out. I like that. That's neat. Why do you think it spreads down, you guys?
Because it's like a circle.
Okay.
It's like 3 dimensions.
Yeah, it's not flat like your table, so it's kind of gonna slide somewhere unless it dries fast enough. So yes.
An M&M has 2 layers of shell.
Okay. In what way? What do you mean by that?
So, like she said though, some M&Ms have like 1 layer of the coloring and 1 layer of the white.
Okay.
Because if you actually look at it, there will be like a little skinny white layer in it. And
The white one that's underneath the green, you mean? Okay.
and then the cracks in it, that would like be the cracking in the green layer.
Okay, so they're kind of 2 shells almost, you're saying? Do you guys think the shell, the green, is the same as the white, or do you think it's different ingredients?
I think it's different.
Why?
Because the white is like hard,
Okay.
but I think I don't know.
What do you think?
I think the green is just like the food coloring, and then like the white is kind of like what holds the M&M together, so it's
Okay.
not just completely chocolate.
Okay, I like that. What do you think?
I think that like they have like they color the M&M shell the color that they want it to be. But then when it's still wet, they like draw the M on it.
So
it's
you think
white.
it's even wet? Why do you think that? Or have you seen something about that? Or are you just
Well,
guessing? Or
I'm just guessing it because unless they like have a stencil to make the M, because all the M's are kind of alike, so maybe
Okay.
they have a stencil.
Okay, they must have something to make them all look so perfect, huh? That would be a curious thing to know. What else, Keaton?
I'm thinking that the white layer and the blue layer, on mine anyways,
Okay,
are the same.
okay. Why do you think that?
It's kind of like the Earth, if you think about it. The crust, the core,
Yes, it is kind of like that.
stuff like that. But the reason why is because the blue layer and the white layer have kind of the same density, really.
Okay, what made you think that, or how did you decide that?
Because when I used my fingernail to
Okay.
kind of saw through it,
Yeah?
they both had the same kind of mass.
Okay.
Just,
It felt like they had the same makeup,
yes.
and it felt like your finger had to go through the blue as hard as it had to go through the white.
Yep.
Really, is what you're saying? Okay. That's very cool. I like that. Thank you. What else, Ella?
I think that if you took the food dye off, like of the M&M, like I think it's just if you took the food dye, the orange off of it, I think it would taste the same as it does right now,
Okay.
or as it does when you eat it, because I think the orange is just the food coloring, but the white is the actual shell. Because if you look really closely, the white is thinner than the orange is thinner than the white.
Okay, so we're hearing differing opinions here. That maybe the orange, some of you are thinking it's a little thinner on the outside color, and some think it's about the same from when you actually tried to go through it. Would there be a way to find out if it's the same? What are some ways you could find out, you guys? What do you think, Hannah?
You can find out, like, if there was, if like, the blue was a shell or something.
Okay.
And then, and if it was or if it like wasn't, find out how much they put on it.
Okay.
And then like weigh kind of them both.
Okay,
Figure
so
out what
somehow
times.
find out what is the mass of the spray and what is the mass of the white shell. How would we find that out?
You could call the company.
Okay, so actually like investigating through like researching at the company. What else, Keaton?
You could put it in water or in an oven.
Okay, and what would you do with the oven? What do you mean with that part?
You could heat it up,
Okay,
which would possibly melt the blue layer
okay.
or the white layer, either one.
And then how would you determine if it was the same or not?
Well, really, the pan that you would put it in would be filled with either blue or white
Okay.
dye.
Okay.
Really.
So you're like comparing the amounts of dye that melted off, maybe? That's cool. I like that. These are good ideas, you guys. Okay, what about what we saw in the inside? I saw some neat drawings, so what do you guys have to say about it in words or tell the class? Taylor?
Well, like the inside of mine, since mine was green colored, it kind of reminded me of like a spot in the grass where like it stopped growing, so it's just basically dirt.
Oh, cool. Thinking spring, right? I like that. So it made you think of spring and dirt. I think that's neat. Whatever, it gets us going, our wheels turning. What else? What did you think?
If you squish the chocolate, it starts to melt.
Okay. Just the interior chocolate or the whole thing, or what do you mean?
The chocolate. Like, if you squish it, it starts melting.
Okay. Why do you think it does that?
I don't know.
Why do you think it would do that?
Because of the heat from your hands, it could melt the chocolate.
Okay, so your body is a source of heat, and it can melt it more likely than it would just sitting on a table, right?
Yeah.
What else?
I thought that the M&M like had two different like kind of like kinds of chocolate because like in some parts it was like lighter than the other parts.
Okay, do you mean the in the brown part, just in the
Yeah.
inside? Okay, so what did it look like? What did you see? Was it like a pattern, or was it kind of
It was
buried
kinda
in different places?
all
Or?
over the place. Like it'd be like two different shades.
Okay. How many of you guys saw different shades of brown or different? How did you describe it, Ellie? You had a different way of describing it.
Our table said it was like waves, like
Okay.
layers of waves of chocolate.
We were talking about that in their group. Like, why do you think it's not just solid brown? Why is it kind of wavy looking or different colors of brown in different places? What do you think?
Well, I kind of think that like it's different colors of brown because like when you break it, the chocolate kind of flakes a little bit.
Okay.
So then it gets to be like light can go kind of through it, and then it gives a lighter color.
Well, that's I love that. So the fact that we kind of disturbed it, maybe we actually created the flaking that created the different colors. What else are you
Maybe
thinking?
it's like different kinds of chocolate.
Okay, that's another good guess. Maybe it's actually a couple kinds of chocolate that they put in that gives that beautiful M&M flavor, right? Other comments? Did you have your hand up? No? Okay, Keaton.
Maybe it's like diluting something.
Good science
For
word.
instance, let's say the chocolate was too sweet.
Okay.
You'd have to dilute it with dark chocolate or water.
Yes. I like
If you did that, it would make it less sweet. But if it's not sweet enough, you'd add milk chocolate.
You're a smart chocolate guy.
I think I got it from my dad.
Yeah, I could say that. So what do you know about dark chocolate then?
I know that, or baker's chocolate, either one, really.
Yeah.
Baker's chocolate is more diluted than dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is more diluted than milk chocolate.
Okay, so you've done some.
So,
You have some background.
3 levels.
Yeah, okay, very good. What else? Can you guys use another word to describe dark chocolate? I know there's a word that is often described with it. You look like you know, Isaiah.
It's healthy.
Okay, it is healthy. What is healthy about the dark chocolate? Do you guys know what's in dark chocolate?
Doesn't it have like less sugar and like less fat in it?
I think it's a lower fat content and a lower sugar content, and what else do you know? Those are all good things.
I think when I have dark chocolate, I like milk chocolate a lot more than dark, but when I taste dark chocolate, it just seems a lot more like thicker,
Okay.
and it has like a little bit more like rich flavor.
Okay.
than
Rich is
milk.
sometimes how people would describe it. It's very chocolatey, right? Unless it is sweet and creamy. What else would you say?
I think it's
Yeah, that's actually the word I was thinking of. Which is why I think sometimes like younger kids don't care for dark as much. Yeah, and some do, but it seems like more common that kids like the milk chocolate, and then sometimes as you get older you like the darker chocolate. It's bitter. Yes, Alexis.
Has more of a cocoa flavor to it.
The dark or the light?
Dark.
Okay, and that's I think kind of what Isaiah was saying too. So good. Hannah.
I think the reason why there's different colors is maybe they use like cocoa powder
Okay.
for it, and then like if you get it like wet or like mix it with the stuff, it turns darker. But if it wasn't like fully mixed in or something, it would be a lighter color.
Have you used cocoa powder
Yeah.
in what, or how have you used it before?
I was making a cake once.
Okay.
A homemade.
Yeah, no, that's usually how the homemade recipes go, actually. That's neat that you have that background. Keaton.
The reason why dark chocolate is so good for you
Why?
is because it has more nutrients and more carbohydrates.
Okay, I actually didn't know if it had more carbohydrates. I know another thing it has that you might know because of your dad's background, too, is antioxidants. Have you heard of those?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, the dark chocolate has more of the antioxidants, which is, it's good for you, and it's prevalent in the milk chocolate, so that's another reason people choose dark chocolate to be healthier. But well, you guys did an awesome job with this part. We're going to move on to the next side here, so go to the next page, please. Here's what you're going to do, kind of like our little scenario that we looked at with the character who had their M&M fall into their cup. We're going to kind of see what they saw. So it says, what happens when an M&M is placed in water? I will be giving each group a new M&M because ours are all smashed up. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to get room temperature water, and you're going to pour it onto, I have these little white foam plates for you, so that it covers the bottom of the entire plate. So I'll give you water, and you don't necessarily need to use the whole cup if it's going to like get really full. Just use what it takes to cover the bottom. And then it says once the water has settled, so make sure it's not like you're bumping the table and those kinds of things. It says place one M&M in the center of the plate. Be careful to keep the water and M&M as still as possible, and observe for about a minute. So whenever your group is ready with their plate and their water, you drop the M&M in, just take a peek at the clock and just look for about a minute. It doesn't have to be perfect. Once that minute is up, you guys, you can just leave it in there because there will be changes that will continue to take place. And but at that time, you can, it says record your observations with words and an illustration. So you will draw what you see, again, like the last time, and then also write about it in description. So do you guys have any questions? No? Okay. Can I get just a few helpers? Why don't you two right here, maybe you three? Okay. So I need, I'll have to give each group a cup of water, Matea, and then you can give each group a plate, please. And you give each group an M&M. Just one per table.
What are we going to paint? What are we going to paint?
We just like put these.
Yeah, you can do what you want with that one. If you want. Is that the one you broke? If you want.
No, that's all that I need. Thank you for your help. You guys can pour the water in the plate right away, and once it's settled, watch for the clock for a minute. Go ahead and start right away. I would just peek at the clock, maybe watching it too.
No. Okay, wait.
We're close to a minute here.
I'll tell you when
You guys all have just to cover the bottom so you can stop there. Yep, and then I would drop it in. And then you can leave the M&M in after the minute, you guys. That's fine. Oh, you have a timer.
I see like a shadow.
Oh, no, sir.
Yeah,
alive?
Yeah, see, it's gonna keep